Wiz Research just disclosed a vulnerability called Ghost Approval. It affects 6 AI coding assistants, and the detail that should actually worry you isn't the bug itself. It's what Claude Code's own internal reasoning said versus what it showed you on screen. Here's why this matters if you review code with an AI agent in the loop, even with a human approving every action. This bug specifically defeats that approval step. The confirmation prompt you're trusting to catch something dangerous is exactly what gets fooled. Here's the mechanism, what Anthropic actually said about it, and what to check before your next code review session. Wiz's setup is simple. A malicious repository contains what looks like an ordinary local config file, something like project settings.json. It isn't a file, it's a symbolic link, a symlink pointing somewhere else entirely. In Wiz's demo, straight to the victim's SSH authorized keys file. The repo's README instructs the agent to update that config file. The agent follows the symlink without resolving where it actually points. The write lands on the real target outside the workspace, outside the sandbox, while the confirmation prompt shown to the user still displays the symlink's name, not what it actually resolves to. In Wiz's demonstration, that write was an attacker's SSH public key dropped straight into authorized keys. That's remote access to the machine, granted through a permission prompt the user approved, believing it was a harmless settings edit. Here's the part that's actually the story. Wiz's write-up quotes Claude Code's own internal reasoning during the exploit. The model's chain of thought explicitly said, quote, this is a symbolic link to the Claude settings file. Its own reasoning identified exactly what was happening. What it then displayed to the user was, make this edit to project settings.json. No mention of the symlink, no mention of where the write actually goes. The model knew. The prompt didn't say. Wiz classifies this as 2 stacked weaknesses. CWE61, following a symlink without checking it, layered under CWE451, showing the user something that misrepresents what's actually happening. 6 tools were tested. Amazon Q Developer and Cursor shipped fixes with assigned CVEs. Google Anti-Gravity fixed it. Augment and Windsurf acknowledged the report, and as a publication, still haven't shipped a fix. Anthropic's position is the one worth sitting with. They don't dispute the mechanism, but they've declined to treat it as a vulnerability, arguing that a user explicitly confirming a prompt inside a directory with a malicious symlink falls outside Claude Code's threat model. They do note that symlink resolution was added in version 2.1.32 back in February, ahead of this report, as what they call proactive hardening and separate from accepting this specific report as a vulnerability. Disclosure ran from February through July, reported in mid-February. Fixes from 3 vendors landed by June. Public disclosure came July 8th. So here's what to actually check. If an AI agent asks you to confirm editing a file you didn't create in a repo you didn't write, look at what that confirmation prompt is actually showing you. A file name is not the same claim as a resolved path. On tools where this isn't fixed, that distinction is exactly what this bug exploits.